The playoff picture's coming into focus. A coach who took over mid-season has his team looking at the postseason. And we'll talk with a league coach who hasn't been behind a bench all season. It's time to check out ECHL Week.
Time again for ECHL Week, this time coming to you from the Glens Falls Civic Center in Glens Falls, New York, home of the Adirondack Thunder. Time to check out the big news in the ECHL this week. And that big news is that 9 of the 16 Kelly Cup playoff teams for this spring are set. In the Mountain Division, Colorado, Allen, and Idaho have reserved their spots. That group is awaiting a final week battle among Alaska, Utah, and Missouri to see which of those 3 will be joining the postseason fun. The Central Division teams have been decided, but we're still waiting to find out the first-round matchups. Toledo versus Kalamazoo and Fort Wayne against Quad City are the likely scenarios, but results over the final 10 days of the regular season could alter those pairings. Games to keep an eye on: the Comets pair of tussles against the Walleye on April 2nd and 5th, plus Fort Wayne in a home-and-home against the Mallards on April 7th and 8th. The Southern Division champion Florida Everblades are waiting to find out all the other playoff teams from that group. The North Division is in a similar situation. Adirondack has qualified, but no other team has yet to nail down a spot. As it has been for the last several seasons, all playoff matchups this year are best-of-7 game series.
Hi, this is Guy LeBeouf of the Elmira Jackals, and you can tweet me at ChiefBD17.
There have been 4 mid-season coaching changes in the ECHL this year. We've already spoken with 3 of those men. Let's talk with the 4th now, Phil Axtell of the Quad City Mallards. Since taking over for Terry Ruskowski behind the Mallards bench, the 30-year-old Axtell has directed the team to an improved record and a spot in the Kelly Cup playoffs. He talks about taking his first head coaching job.
Well, I didn't really take the job. I was asked if I was ready, and I said, let's try it. And, unfortunately it happened how it happened, but I'm grateful for the opportunity. They rallied around each other, and I think maybe for me a little bit. We went 1-1 our first 2 games. We were down 4-1 a minute into the third of my first game. Ended up winning the shootout. And, after our second game, I kind of reminded them that they had let Terry go. And if we didn't start winning and they didn't start performing the way they could, they were going to start letting me or them go. And I think it was a little bit of a wake-up call.
Even though Axtell's just a few months into his first head coaching job, his eyes are open about what being in this profession means.
Mallard organization is committed to winning. And if I don't win, I don't deserve the job. That's the way I look at it. Terry once told me, many times, we're all hired to be fired. We don't do our job, we don't get the job done, someone else will come in and do it. So, gonna keep working hard, gonna keep preparing the guys for the games, and hopefully we win, and hopefully I'm here next year.
A status report on one of the ECHL's new teams. Straight ahead on ECHL Week.
What's the difference between a breakaway and getting caught? Between an odd man rush and being the odd man out? Gaining an extra second. Be ahead of the game.
Hi, I'm Austin Lotz of the Rapid City Rush, and you're watching ECHL Week.
One of the new teams coming into the ECHL next season is the Worcester Railers. We caught up with head coach Jamie Russell not too long ago and asked him about how things are progressing as the team prepares to hit the ice in October.
First time in 23 years I've been behind the bench coaching, but it's been a very productive season in building our organization with a lot of scouting. We've seen upwards of 70 games, a lot of college games, American League games, ECHL games. We we have a signed affiliation agreement that's into the ECHL office for approval, and they'll make an announcement at the end of the season. We've had great support. We're doing the events every month for our membership, our season ticket holders, and we've had a lot of great publicity, a lot of great press in Worcester and New England as a whole. So it's exciting, and the momentum is really starting to build towards October. It's an incredible opportunity. Our ownership with Cliff Rucker he's just been tremendous. He's doing everything first class. From our player housing, he's building an $18 million practice facility. The reception from the pro hockey community in Worcester has been incredible. So we couldn't be more excited to hit the ground running and get things started in October. Mike Myers has done a terrific job on the business side of things with corporate sponsorship and season ticket sales, and there's a lot of things that we have to put in place: hiring an equipment manager, hiring a trainer, remodeling our locker room facility, buying equipment for the weight room. So there's a lot of things that still need to be done, but we're making a ton of progress. It was often I try to fall asleep at night and I think of a sellout crowd in Worcester on opening night and picking up 2 big points in our first outing. So that's first and foremost, but we want to really focus, and we have a process for how we want to build the roster, and finding what's the successful ingredients to put together a winner in the ECHL.
Hi, my name is Justin from Reading, Pennsylvania, and my favorite ECHL team are the Reading Royals, and you're watching ECHL Week.
It's time for Q&A with Joe Ernst. What types of fouls and infractions have officials been instructed to be aware of this season?
We're looking at stick fouls. Stick fouls have become a big issue now that fighting has gone down. We've looked at a lot of stick fouls from the past, and if it's trying to let the skilled players play the game, so we're trying to cut that down. And then obviously a couple non-type of foul issues are the teams trying to change, leaving the bench there after an icing when they know that their team has iced the puck. They're not allowed to jump over the boards and change, and if they do, it's a 2-minute delay game, bench minor penalty.
A Western Conference team tries to keep its playoff hopes alive in our highlight game. Next on ECHL Week.
Hi, I'm Jamie Shaftsma of the Fort Wayne Comets, and you're watching ECHL Week.
Time once again for a look at our highlight game of the week.
Aircamps fakes a slap shot, deals it over on the far side, back to Aircamps, a slap shot and a score. Aircamps drove one from the blue line. It may have been tipped in. A power play goal has given the Thunder a 1-0 lead.
It's hard to tell. Still kind of hard to tell, but I do think it might have been deflected early on, in this first period.
Marcotte scores.
Well, I don't think Robinson saw that shot coming at all. He reacted pretty late.
Wristed into the Wichita zone, and a score! Firing a low shot that stretched twine, Eric Scheid. Shot by Finn goes wide. Elo out of the box and Melindy. No altercation there, but it's a situation where the Mavericks on the power play. Handed off and a score! And stretching wide and tying the game, Matt Finn. From the Thunder, David Friedman centers. Oh my gosh, here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Your son Josh just made an outstanding save. Taken by the Mavericks, Rocco Carzo, short-handed, a shot and a save. To neutralize, the Mavericks have to go back, and the Mavericks get in a change. Brooks moves forward. Brooks scores! A backhand shot. Alex Brooks, the game winner in overtime, and the Mavericks prevail against the Wichita Thunder.
Hi, I'm Danny Moynihan of the Alaska Aces, and you're watching ECHL Week.
The men behind the microphones, voices of the ECHL. Today, Chris Ballard of the Brampton Beast. How did you get your start in hockey broadcasting?
So back in my home province of Newfoundland, I actually had the opportunity to cover some senior hockey out there, and the St. John's Ice Caps of the American Hockey League rolled through town, and I ended up getting close with the team, and eventually that turned into me doing their between-period interviews, and it grew into here I am today as the play-by-play guy for the Brampton Beast.
How does being a play-by-play man change how you watch sports?
Since I've become a broadcaster, I find I definitely don't watch hockey the same way as I once did. I can no longer sit still and just watch a game. Every time there's a great play or a great goal, I feel like nudging the person next to me saying, oh, what'd you think of that? And I always find I accidentally turn on my broadcaster voice too. So that definitely annoys some people, my wife especially, if we're sitting down to watch a game. But that's probably the biggest thing. And especially when I fire up the PlayStation, got to turn the volume way down low when I'm playing NHL. My calls are better than the guys in the game, that's for sure.
Any memorable mistakes you don't mind talking about?
Because last season, the Beast are unfortunately well known for having a lot of roster turnover, 70-plus players, and we had a handful of players last season who were in and out for a weekend whose names I butchered during their only couple of games with us. Matt Sierozinski, I apologize.
What's your most outstanding moment from your time with the Beast?
But maybe the most memorable one I had, the Beast were trailing 5-1 in the third period against, I believe it was Norfolk, and we came back to win 6-5 in overtime thanks to a goal from our captain, Brandon Marino. That one's not going to leave my memory anytime soon.
That wraps up another edition of ECHL Week from Glens Falls, New York. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. You'll keep up to date on all that's going on in the ECHL. See you next time.